What's up guys, welcome back to the Sound Design channel. My name is La. Today we're going to be looking at some sounds in Diva, my favourite synth. So we're going to be looking at a kind of 80s lead, which is from the Melodic Techno 2 pack. I think it's called Trance, which will be linked down below as always. So let's have a look at the sound. It's a little bit different from like your normal Melodic Techno stuff, which is kind of cool. It reminded me of some kind of 80s sounds. So I put some 80s kind of drums with it. So we'll just have a little play. There we go. So yeah, it's a pretty cool sound. There's a lot of delay on it, so it's very, very big, and there's a lot of release, so it's like, yeah, just almost like an endless sound. So yeah, let's remake it in Diva. All right, so here we are in Diva. So you just want to go to the templates. This is a good place to start when you're doing any of your sound design. It doesn't really matter too much which one you choose here, because we're doing a bit of a hybrid where we're kind of changing some of the modules here. So you can pick the digital one, and for the digital one, we want to use this one here. We are going to change this to the byte, and then we're going to change this to the cascade. And then we can also change this to the ADS one. They all do have slightly different tones, so it is important that you change them, but it won't make a huge difference to the sound. We're still going to take care of like the main characteristics. So first, to start off with, we are going to keep it on this multi-saw here. We're going to put the octave up, and then we're going to bring the detune to around here, around this kind of 70-ish mark. You can see the numbers at the top if you want to know where you're at. So around here, we're then also going to turn this on. So we're going to modulate this, and we're going to modulate it with envelope 1. And we bring this all the way down. At the minute, this isn't really going to do much because we're not doing much on envelope 1. But I'll just turn this on so you hear it. Alright, cool. So we kind of already have a bit of the tone there. We also then want to increase these multi-saws so we have more saws. And then we're going to go to... then we leave this one off. This one we're going to change it down to this sawtooth down here. And then with this we're going to put the blend all the way over. At the minute, yeah, we are blending between the two, so we can hear both of those oscillators because the mix is here. Actually going to bring it all the way over here, and then we're going to modulate this. So you go to modify, and then we're going to have that on envelope 2. And we're going to bring that all the way over. We are going to then change this envelope so it has a different character, but that's how we want to have it set right now. Change this to high quality. And that is all we want to do on the oscillator section. So now we go to the high pass filter in between this filter. So it's a filter just beforehand. And we're going to make the sound a bit thinner. So we bring the cutoff filter up. And then we leave the peak as it is. Yeah, just around under this mark here. And then we're going to bring this cutoff filter down. We can bring it to, say, the third line from the bottom or in between, somewhere around here. Bring the resonance all the way down. Okay, nice. And now we need to shape the envelope 1, which is just bringing the sustain down. Bring the release really high. Already, we have the character pretty much now. Bring this decay down. Just so it's not so open. And we can bring the attack up a little bit so there's no clicking. Yep, there's good. Now we want to go to envelope 2 and we're going to just bring it down to around here. You can play around with this to taste. So it's closing the sound down. We then want the attack to be quite loose. We're going to bring this to around here. And then we're going to bring the decay around here, no sustain, but we want the release button on. That's how we're getting that kind of, I don't know, 80s tone. And now we want to go to the delay and add a ridiculous amount of delay. So the side volume you bring all the way down. The center volume you bring not all the way up, but very high around here. The timing, you're going to have the left up to 6 and the center up to 6. Oh, I'm just looking at the number at the top again if you want to get it accurate. And then we leave the right volume down, bring the wow over just a little bit here. And then we want loads of feedback. We can make it less thin by bringing this high pass down. So we're really just delaying the very middle part of the sound. I apologize if you can't hear me when it's playing, but the sound kind of just goes on forever, so I kind of need to talk. But okay, so then the next thing we need to do, we'll just put this onto clean. It won't do too much of a difference, but it's important to do that. And then we're going to put the key tracking here. So this is just like the type of filter, making it a bit cleaner rather than rough. And this is the key tracking, so as you work up and down the keyboard, it will open and close the filter. And when it goes to that higher note, it opens the filter more. Okay, so that is the majority of the sound. We're going to just do a little bit of modulation down here. Oh no, so yeah, down here. In fact, we'll do this first. So on this section here, we want to add 16 voices. This is going to make it very big. And we're going to stack them by 2. So this might kill your CPU. If it does, either engage the multi-core here, or just reduce the voices. As you can hear, you can still get the main sound. But with it like this now, it's going to be a lot bigger. Modulates more because it's going through so many voices. And then the other thing we're going to do is stack those voices. So we go to the stack index and we increase this all the way over. The sound will become very stereo now. And there we have the bulk of the sound. The other things we're doing here are just kind of small modulation things. So we're going to go to invert and put this onto envelope 2. And then we're going to put the, on the lag, we're going to put add. And then on add, we're going to put invert. And we're also going to put LFO2. So we're modulating the lag parameter with the invert and the LFO2. And the invert is being modulated by the envelope 2. This just basically adds a little bit of movement to the sound. We want to increase this a little bit here, but we also need to then put this add onto something, otherwise it won't do anything. So we put the add or the lag here. So this is going to slightly affect the cutoff filter. So now we're getting that wom kind of feeling. We don't want it to be super heavy, so we bring the depth over. You can increase this, of course. We don't want it to be that strong. It's really got to just be a little subtle amount here. Okay. The last thing is just this volume modulation. So we are going to be making the sound quieter with envelope 1. Oh, sorry, not envelope 1. LFO 1. So the volume will modulate slightly, and it's based off what we have here. And in this case, we want this to be a little bit less. And we're also going to put it on invert here. The timing, we're going to have the rate pretty slow. And then we're going to have this on 8th notes and gated here. Now, I didn't make this sound, so I'm not entirely sure what the thought process was behind this, but I believe it was probably just to make the volume not so rigid and the same, so it will kind of move and be a little bit more analog. So that's what that's doing really. We're adding movement to the volume amount. But as you can hear, it's not a huge thing. It's not going to really change the sound that much, so it's just a little added touch there. The majority of the sound we have achieved here. Okay, cool. So there we have the sound. Now we can just go in here. And what you might want to do is play around with things, so I can just give you some pointers for things that you could automate. kind of already showed you a little bit, but you could do things like playing with, let's just get rid of this for here. Playing with the envelope too. Playing with the lag. There you go. So a lot of fun can be had there, especially just playing with things that are modulating the cutoff filter. A lot of the time what people do is just modulate the cutoff filter, but there's a lot of other little things you can be playing around with, also playing with the attack, the decay, the sustain. All those things are a lot of fun to play around with so the sound doesn't get boring. But yeah, have some fun with the sound. As I said, it will be linked down below in the Melodic Techno Volume 2 pack for Diva. So yeah, have some fun with it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.